Welcome to Wagons of Steel. It's a party and everyone's invited.
Yes.
Today we're going to go back, way back. Back to the darkest section of the Wagons of Steel boneyard. Here's where we grow wagons and where wagons come to die. This is the first Wagons of Steel race car. It's a 1972 Chrysler Town Country. I got it for $500 in 1992. It's got lots of speed tricks. Wagons of Steel, wagon power. We blocked the front grille off to make it faster. It worked. Used to have a 440 with a big shaker hood scoop. Now it's got a big Blackberry. This car's got a roll bar in it. It was the first roll bar that my crew chief Mike built. You can see it's got lots of storage space. Good for any station wagon. Got the original steering wheel. See, it used to be slime green. I don't recommend painting a car slime green. You'll get sick of that color before you're done painting it. And everything in the shop ends up being slime green as well. We still have slime green parts that we find in the tool shed and different parts that we put on the car. That slime green shows up. The 72 Chrysler Town Country weighs about 5,500 pounds when they rolled off the showroom floor. This one came with a 400. They frequently came with a 440. By the time we were done with this, it weighed 4,500 pounds. So we took 1,000 pounds out of it. That's a lot of stuff. The dashboard alone weighed 200 pounds. Gutted the doors. The headliner, all the insulation out of the car. It's a very, very loud car when it's running. Before we leave, you can see here's the wagon tree. It was supposed to be a Hemi, but it's a slant 6. We'll harvest it soon. This is another 1972 Chrysler. This one was never really a race car. Believe it or not, when we bought it, it was pristine like a show car. We've towed across the country, all the way to Florida with a 1964 Dodge in tow. It was never a great tow rig. For some reason, all these cars are different. They all have their own personalities. And this one, when you towed, you had both hands on the wheel, and it was scary, but it went all the way across the country and back. This one had the mighty 440 in it. We had to wreck this car, unfortunately. It's getting kind of towards the end of its useful life, but you know, the beautiful thing about having cars in the yard is there's always more parts you can use off of them. Yeah, it's getting to be time. Some things about this car. This car had the Air Temp 2 heater control, which involves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 vacuum lines, and God only knows how much wiring, and it never worked. Fascinating little aspect. So when we drove across the country, climate control was not good. This car here is a 72 Plymouth Sport Suburban, which is the same basic car as this car. Once you start collecting these cars, they come to you. And we got one more to show you across the yard. This is our last 1972 Chrysler Town Country. We call this one Sahara Beige because that's the factory paint name. Sounds like a stripper or something. Still see it's a 440 in it. And just as a point of reference, when they got rid of Air Temp 2, which I was showing you before, You just put a valve in it. That works. That works to this day. Factory cruise control. This car, who knows why. The other one I said you had to drive with 2 hands on the wheel and we sweated our way across the country. This car you have 1 finger on the wheel and look down and Jesus, you're going 80 miles an hour with a trailer in tow and you didn't even notice it. Who knows why. Same wheels and tires, everything else. This car has lived a long life on the island where we live, and a friend of mine worked at a local shop, and the owner of this car would bring it in and have him tune it up and stuff, and he said, man, you guys have got to get this car off of this guy. It's just like your car, you're gonna love it. And we said, yeah. People, you know, we don't like to pay money for these cars. And one day he called me up and goes, you're the Wagons of Steel guys, right? I said, sure. Well, I got a car for you. And I said, well, yeah. He goes, no, I have a car for you. You have got to have this car. I mean, you have got to have this car. I'm getting a divorce, and I'm leaving the island, and my soon-to-be ex-wife has told me at least I won't have to see that stupid station wagon anymore, and I want to sell it to somebody who's going to drive it on the island every day. Can you do that for me? And I said, well, what do you want to sell it to me for? And he said, well, $300 or something. Like, could have been $500, but I think it was $300 for a running 440 station wagon. I mean, the engine alone is worth that. How can I say no? So I rode my bicycle across the ferry, and the guy met me in the line. The car was already parked in line. He'd already bought a ferry ticket. So this car was a deal I just could not pass up. And it looks funky now, but it's still in perfectly restorable condition. So you wouldn't be surprised to see this on the road again sometime. Well, that's all for today. We'll get back to you soon.